It's great to be here again. To me, as I've been talking to so many of you since yesterday, this is like the second Thanksgiving. There's a Thanksgiving of the family somewhere in November, and then comes this Thanksgiving. And this family, like I just recently became a grandfather, so like the other family, continues to grow, and it's just such a privilege to be here. And the topic that the team has selected for this time, it just could not be any better. Rising to every challenge. I'm going to start this with a little video. So to me, the word challenge is kind of synonymous with an eagle. And I had the privilege, again, of growing up in a family unit where my grandparents stayed with us. And for my grandfather, there was this beautiful Persian poetry at that time, even though I was in India. He would quote this Persian poet, that where he would tell us that in this poem, the poet is talking to an eagle, that, "Oh, my dear eagle, do not fear the stormy winds that come your way, because they come with just one intent, to make you rise even higher." And so true to the fact that an eagle actually uses these strong winds coming against it to get higher, as does an airplane, but airplanes aren't that romantic. So talking about eagles and these big birds, and that's truly what so many of us here at CVR, and for me, it's been the privilege, amongst all the other privileges, has been, for so many years, seeing so many of you all, learning from so many of you all, how the group has used challenges to only make them into opportunities. Now, who all here have joined us since after COVID? Oh, so a good percent. And, also my talk is going to be more geared towards the younger in the crowd. Now, whoever thinks of themselves as younger is up to you guys. It's by the time you get to my vintage, if you haven't learned these lessons, then God help you. But here, let's go with what CVR was doing. And I don't want to be disrespectful to COVID. I don't want to be disrespectful to so many people who got hurt by COVID. However, this was a challenge of gigantic proportions. And there was a group of people who could still see joy in that challenge. Can we go up on the volume? Maybe not. Corona! Okay, again, it's look at all these people have taken a pay cut at this time. All these people have family members who have been hurt, yet there's a subset out there which, at the time of this challenge going on, what we are reaping today with our outcomes, which everybody will go into the detail of, the seeds of all that were sown during COVID. It's like, as you read more about how an eagle behaves, when a storm comes, an eagle goes above the storm, above the clouds, and just floats around there. This is what your team was doing at that time. And this is just one of the so many challenges. I just saw this video and wanted to share this with you. This is when in our rooms we thought about having mid-level providers, thought about how do we manage the offices better, how do we get more efficiency at every level. And, then you start dwelling in deeper. That what do people like you see on the screen, and people, these were just people at the corporate office. I'm sure none of our offices really shut down at that time because so many of you were willing to provide the care that is needed. specifically with DVTs that were happening in those days. What do people who face challenges differently, what do they bring to life, right? And what can we learn from them? Yes, ultimately we got to hit numbers, we got to do all that stuff, but that's for joy. You have to wake up and bring something to life, which some other people just cannot. So what is so special about these people, and what do they truly bring to life so that by the time they are done with what the world may perceive as a challenge, it's almost like entrepreneurship. You feel, how do you make people take risk? A true entrepreneur just does not see risk. Similarly, a lot of people who are wired a certain way, they don't see a challenge, they just see an opportunity. And I assure you, so many of you belong to that category, so many of you are on the path to get to that place, but the point is, life is going to continue to happen. How do we and how do people, and I'm going to embarrass a few people later on to name them, how do these people actually take life? How do they meet life? And I think the biggest thing is, the question is, how do people like Ken Wen and Ken Abad and Wendy and John, who I saw them all through COVID, how do they manage the drama in their heads so that a challenge is truly not a challenge to them? And I feel what I have learned in this process is people who fall in that category, first and foremost, are grateful for what they have. It starts with gratitude. Every morning, the joke was you'd be tell our kids, you got to sit down, write 5 things that you're grateful for. But it's really not a joke. I mean, those simple things are so, so real. A simple thing, the room that John puts me in here, honestly, I get up in the morning and first thing I feel is, oh my God, my whole village from India can fit in this room. And more. And what did I do in life to deserve what I have more than the housekeeper I've had for 30 years who's worked equally hard? And just that little gratitude starts off your day so well, because then your cup is full. If your cup is always empty, you can never help anybody else fill their cup. The second thing that people like this subset brings to life is perpetual optimism. Whether it's Jesus who put us on this ground, or Krishna, or Muhammad, or a scientific formula, it doesn't matter. But the point is, we have to have faith in creation around us, that we are here today, because somebody wanted good for us. Optimism is key. Okay, there is COVID happening. If you start thinking about it, or more recently, we had a total computer shutdown where everybody just pitched in so beautifully, because the team did not see that as a hindrance. This team saw it as, how do we get on the other side even better, stronger, faster? The third thing always you need is, you need to be willing to work hard, whatever it is. Work hard with good intentions. And last but not the least, you need a mission. You need a purpose. And the purpose, obviously our purpose at work is very, very clear, that our purpose has to be to improve lives of the communities we serve in a compassionate, cost-effective manner with state-of-the-art vascular care. But when I look at people like Ken Abad, who I have the privilege of working, every one of his calculations, everything he approaches is so meticulous, whether it's with work, whether it's with personal life. He will not put himself ahead of anybody else. In fact, he will put himself last. And it is not that this is what I'm doing for work, this is what I'm doing in my real life. When I look at Ken Wen, it's the same thing, that it is about about his doctors, about his providers, about the vascular techs, about nurses, about operations people. When I look at John, he may jokingly tell me that, oh my God, Dr. Lakhanpal, my job is to make sure that nobody jumps out of the window. However, he is the most concerned about the well-being of his entire team while he is trying to make us all more efficient. And then we come to Wendy. She has been fighting so hard for the reinstatement of the 401k plan. I know we did a partial reinstatement last year, and she has been fighting so hard for full reinstatement, and her focus there was the well-being of everybody, but also that, Dr. Lakhanpal, we made a promise. We've got to keep this promise. And here we go, Wendy, you finally succeeded. So guys, thank you to everybody. Thank you to this amazing team that makes every challenge into an opportunity. And thank you to those who are willing to learn here. We have a lot of fellows, a lot of younger people, how people who don't look at a challenge as a challenge, really how they come equipped to meet life. Thank you, guys. Have a great, great time here, and hopefully we all learn a lot.